Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today to learn more about the Dell Scholars Program. We appreciate you taking the time to learn more about this fabulous opportunity. My name is Cindy Ayala, and I am part of Avid's marketing team. And I am joined by two wonderful co-hosts, Sonia Demps, who is the Manager of Operations and Engagement for Dell Scholars at the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation, and Salih Abdullahi, who is a current Dell Scholar and an Avid alum. Additionally, we have Abby Dorsey and Brian Lee from our team here at Avid, who will be managing the chat and providing tech support. So today, Sonia will be giving us an overview of the Dell Scholars Program, and Salih will be telling us about his experience as a Dell Scholar. Toward the end of the webinar, we'll have a Q&A session with Salih, so please be thinking of any questions you have and include them in the chat throughout the webinar. We will gather all the questions and address as many as we can during the Q&A portion. And if there are any questions we don't get to today, we encourage you to reach out to the Dell Scholars Program team with your question following the webinar. We will send out an email in the next day or so with information on how to contact the Dell Scholars team, as well as a link to the recording of this webinar. Now, I'd like to invite Sonia to tell us more about the Dell Scholars Program. Sonia?
Hi, thanks, Cindy. As Cindy mentioned, I work with the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation, and I'm so excited to be here to walk you all through just the requirements for our program and give you an overview of the support that the Dell Scholars Program provides. So we just really want to let you all know, about our program and that what our program has to offer, as well as what it takes to become a Dell Scholar and the requirements of the Dell Scholars Program. Within our program, we are definitely more than just a check. And we always want to make sure that students are aware of all of the services we provide, as well as what the requirements are for our program. And so it's more than just providing you with the scholarship funds, but we are a wraparound support system, and we support our students in many different ways, which we'll talk about later throughout the presentation. Next slide, please, Cindy. Yep. And so just to give you all an overview of the benefits of the program, you will receive a $20,000 scholarship. In addition to that, you will receive personalized support that for academic, financial, and situational. So we do support all of our students in all three buckets to make sure that they have the necessary resources and are equipped to be able to navigate those issues as they're transitioning from high school to college. In addition to that, you will receive a 4-year warranty on a brand new laptop from Dell Computers. You also too will have Chegg textbook credits that you will receive. And for those of you who are not familiar with Chegg is a textbook platform that actually sells books for higher education classes, as well as has support systems, tutoring, and Chegg Study. And so you will receive these Chegg credits that you can use on that platform, and that's in addition to your $20,000 scholarships. Also, too, you will have access to what we call our Scholar Resource Network, which is a organization that provides support for our students around like legal, financial, tax. This is a service that is the cost to cover for by the Dell Scholars Program, and it is open to all of our Dell Scholars as well as any of their family members free of charge. And when you speak to someone on the phone in reference to those topics, you will be speaking to someone who actually is a specialist and is certified in that specific area. So for example, if you need tax support, you will speak to an actual licensed accountant. In addition to that, we also too offer and provide the teletherapy services through an organization called BetterHelp, so that students are able to speak to counselors and be able to address any mental health issues or any counseling that they may need support with. This is through licensed therapists, and that is also to a part of your scholarship as well, where we cover those costs. To be eligible for the Dell Scholars Program, all of our students have to participate in a college readiness program. So for those of you who are students on the call, that will mean that you do qualify because you are part of Abbott, and Abbott is one of our approved college readiness programs. We do often get a lot of questions around if I was part of Abbott, not the full 11th grade year, but partially, or I was only part of 12th grade, do I still qualify? You still can qualify as long as you were part of Abbott, even if you didn't do the complete year of your junior year. If you are only joining in your senior year, or there's other parameters around your qualification, you can either check with Cindy, and Cindy can get with me personally, or you can email us and ask those questions, and we'd be able to provide you more guidance around that. You have to have at least a 2.4 GPA. In addition to that, you have to demonstrate financial need. And when we say financial need, that would mean that you have to be eligible to apply for FAFSA and meet the requirements of FAFSA and receiving Pell. And so we follow the guidelines of FAFSA to determine financial need. And so if you're eligible to complete the FAFSA, and as long as you're Pell eligible, no matter the amount of the Pell, you can apply for our scholarship. You also in addition to that, you have to be attending an accredited higher education institution with attaining your bachelor's degree. So those are our main 3 qualifications for the scholarship in order to be able to apply for the scholarship each year. Again, just one thing I want to add to that is you have to be a high school senior. So if there are juniors that are on the call, you cannot apply to our scholarship until you are a senior. One important thing I know a lot of the questions we get from some of our applicants is who should apply for Dell Scholars? What are the idea candidates? And we always like to use the acronym GPA, which is around grit, potential, and ambition. So any students who are showing any of that grit, any potential, which means, you know, being part of this college readiness program, and also to an ambition to, you know, preparing themselves, being ready for college, and, you know, just having a dream of graduating and going to college. So any students that fall into those buckets, those are some of our idea candidates. And, you know, they're going to demonstrate that unique, what we call GPA, which is that grit, potential, and ambition as well. So just want to remind you all some key application dates. If you have not completed your application, I would strongly urge you, as soon as you get off this call, go ahead, log into our Dell application site and complete the application. It's already open. You'll have until December the 1st to complete that application. We will announce semifinalists on December the 9th. So by December the 9th, you will learn if you have become a semifinalist. And if you have become a semifinalist, you will have the second phase of the application, which will be some short answer essays. And then all of your material for the semifinalists is due on the 27th. You will be providing at that time your copy of your transcript. It does not have to be official. It can be an unofficial transcript. We are aware that you are in the middle of, you know, finishing some classes, or depending on what school you go to or school district you're in, the semester may or may not have ended. So you might not have all final grades. You would just upload what you have. And when you're completing the application, you would just input whatever your grade is at the time of you completing the application. And then we do announce our Dell Scholars on March 16th. Just keep in mind too, as I mentioned earlier, you have to be a senior. If you are graduating early, that is fine, as long as you are classified as a senior and considered a senior at that time. So, and we want to share this quick short video with you all, just to give you an idea of what this specific person in this video was actually one of our recent graduates who was a Dell Scholar.
Sometimes running through life, I feel like you're going to encounter paths that are going to be smooth, well-lit, and other points in life, you're going to find paths that are going to be rugged and unfamiliar territory. I've always felt that I had the responsibility as the oldest child in my family to help my parents in any way I could. They sacrificed so much in their life to put me in the position where I am in today. I never looked at college to be really as a path I would take. I didn't think it was fit for me, and I didn't think it would actually have a better outcome for myself or my family. It wasn't until my teachers, my counselor, influenced me to think outside of the box. So that's specifically when I started looking into scholarships. My counselor recommended the Dell Scholars because she said, hey, it's a really good scholarship. They help you out not only financially, but they help you out in the long term. And in my head, I was kind of like, well, I mean, sure, but there's a lot of other good students. What makes me stand out? My counselor told me, you should still try. Have some faith in yourself. Once I got the Dell Scholarship, I was excited and motivated to go into college and finish. After graduating, I was extremely motivated to go out, start building my career, and taking that next leap into my future. Working as a cybersecurity consultant, I get to work with people not only in the United States, but I get to work with people across Latin America. I get to help people that I feel I have a personal connection with. My overall goal when going to college was not only to achieve a higher education, but to actually be able to provide for my family and give back to them. Now, after graduating college with the career that I have, I am able to confidently say that I can. I know the process for becoming a Dell Scholar can be hard, but it's something that will change your life entirely.
Thank you, Cindy. So just to wrap up, you know, again, as I mentioned earlier, if you have not started your application or if you've started and haven't completed, please make sure that you go in and complete your application by December the 1st. It only takes about 10 minutes for the first initial stage of the application. So it doesn't take a lot of your time, and it's so worth all of the opportunities that you will receive with this scholarship. So I will turn it back over to Cindy.
All right. Thank you, Sonia. That information was really helpful. And I know many students out there may be wondering what it's like to be a Dell Scholar. So I'd like to have Sally tell us more about his experience. Sally, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and how being a Dell Scholar has impacted your college journey?
So hello, y'all. My name is Sally Abdullahi, and I'm from Minnesota, and I'm currently a freshman at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. I'm studying computer science, and my future goal is to get my master's in computer science and have my own firm of computer system analyst. My experience applying for the Dell Scholars Program, well, my older sister was a Dell Scholar, so like for me, it was easy to get help when I needed it. Since my older sister was a scholar, I would usually ask her for help and she would help me out. And then the Dell Scholar has helped me in college. Well, right now, Dell gives out a new laptop. So like with the laptop, it's like as a college student, you do need a laptop. And also like the support that I need as just with the Dell Scholars Program has helped. And then my advice to like anyone that's applying for the Dell Scholars Program, I would say like time management, because like as an avid scholar, we learned that, oh, we should write things in our planners, but as a senior, time flies by. So like the best option is writing things down in our planner.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sally. It was great getting to hear more about your college journey and how you prepared for college, and also what the Dell Scholars experience is like. So thank you for sharing that. Now, we'd like to give you the opportunity to ask any questions you may have about the Dell Scholars Program, whether it is about the application process itself or just about being a Dell Scholar. So please continue to add your questions to the chat. And I wanted to get us started with our first question, which is, what is college life like?
Well, college life is not as same as high school, because like in high school, you have a built-in system where you have classes and lunch built in, but in college, it's like you're in control of that. So like how you manage your time and how you like take responsibility of things, like it really affects you. So like if you're wasting your time and not taking care of academic stuff, then that's you'll be struggling in college life.
Thank you for that. And I know you talked a little bit about this earlier, but how has Avid helped you get ready for college?
So for Avid, I remember like back in middle school, we always like I just like Cornell notes, but like in college it really helps you because like you need to find a better way of studying. If you don't have a nice studying habits, then you will struggle in college. But in Avid, Cornell notes does really work and it does help you in college.
Awesome. And I know I use Cornell Notes sometimes here at Avid working, so they stay with you. They're really great. Um, so we have a question, and Sonia, I think this question is more for you. And it is, can a junior apply if they are graduating at the end of 11th grade?
So could they elaborate a little bit more, because or maybe we can take this one offline, because it depends on age, situation, and so forth. So there's way more parameters. So I would need a little bit more details before I can answer, correctly answer that question.
All right.
So I can follow up with you on that one.
Okay, sounds great. We'll send over our participants' information so you can make that connection. Perfect. So just to get a sense, like Sonia, I know you've talked a little bit about the benefits of the scholarship, and Sally, you have too, but I wanted to dive more into that and just beyond the scholarship, because when people hear scholarship, they think just money. It's just funds for college, which is fabulous and it's great. But I know the Dell Scholarship Program is more than that, and so. Sally, you mentioned some things earlier, laptop and just other benefits of the Dell Scholars Program, but can you think of some other ways that the scholarship has benefited you, and just what are some pieces of the Dell Scholars Program that people who aren't a Dell Scholar wouldn't necessarily know about?
Well, for me, I'm a first generation college student. So like I'm currently part of the Dell microchip internship. And then it's like a group of other college students, freshmen like me, and we make videos talking about our experience in college. And like that builds up a community of like us sharing that we're not just alone. There's also other students that are going on the same shoes as us.
That's really awesome. It just seems like there's a lot of connection with the Dell Scholars Program, where you can meet other people on campus through the program, or like your experience with the internship, which is really awesome. So thank you for that. So let's see here. I'm checking for more questions. Oh, this is a question for Sonia. What percentage of your Dell Scholars are Avid students?
I would say about 60%. Avid is our largest CRP, so most of our Dell Scholars are part of the Avid College Readiness Program. We award 500 students per year, are awarded our scholarship, and I would say about 60% of them are Avid students.
That is great. That's good news to hear. This is another question based on another question for Sonia. So how many scholars are awarded each year, and do you award based on geography? So we'll have one awardee from California, one from Texas. How does that work, and how many?
I know we just touched on this a little bit, but we award 500 students a year, and no, students can attend any accredited, as long as it's an accredited institution and they're working towards their bachelor's degree. So we do not allow students to get certifications or technical type of schools, but as long as they're working towards their bachelor's degree, they can attend any institution in the US. So we currently have students at about 550 different campuses across the US.
That is great. That is such a big network. Really,
And
really exciting.
Yeah, I would say the our top 5 highest states are going to be Texas, California, Minnesota, Florida, and then I think we're running a close race between Denver and probably Boston area.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice. Okay, so I have a question for Sally. Is college different than what you expected? And if so, how?
College is 100% different than what I expected. Because like in high school, I would usually get like 3 assignments throughout the whole week, while in college, I'm getting like 6 to 7 different assignments. Like the load of work is real. And like I would spend like 3 to 4 hours a day just doing my homework.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So we have another question here, and it's regarding the application. So this one is more for Sonia, and it is on the application. Do I need to only fill out information for my mother since my biological father does not live with us anymore? Or do I need to include information for both my mother and stepfather, even though they are not married?
You would include information from your primary caregiver, so whoever you live with. So in your case, you could just include the information for your mother. Hopefully that's helpful. And if not, or if you have any additional follow-up questions, you can email those to us and we'll get back to you. But based on what you just expressed, it would be your mother. So you would just provide that information.
Great, thank you. And this is another question for Sonia. In the application, there is a section that says recommender. For the people who we do include, would we need to ask them for a letter of recommendation? And does this scholarship ask for a letter of recommendation?
So we currently do not ask for letters of recommendation. You do not need to ask your recommender for a letter of recommendation. What happens is you're providing your recommender's information, and if you become a semi-finalist, your recommender will receive a link to answer a subset of questions, which would be your recommendation. And they're going to be asked some specific questions, and it's all done virtual, so there's no physical letters or anything that you have to ask from them directly.
Thank you for that. And looks like one more for Sonia here. Is it tuition, fees, room and board? And does the amount differ depending on your college of choice?
We only give a $20,000 scholarship, and that's to cover you throughout your 4 to 6 years of undergrad studies. So if you are on a 4-year track, you will receive $5,000 an academic year or less, depending on your financial aid. So it's hard to really just say how much each individual is going to receive until you actually have selected your college choice, and we've had a chance to look at your award letter to determine what you're going to request for that academic year. Our scholarship can be used for entire cost of attendance. So it's just not for tuition only. It's not only for housing. It could be used to cover whatever is included in your cost of attendance, which includes transportation, books, miscellaneous, personal, and even if you attend an institution where you're required to have health. So all of that is included, and we're really flexible with our scholarships. So there's so many different ways that you would be able to use the funds and access the funds. So for example, if you receive the full ride, or you're fully covered because you have a lot of other scholarships or aid, we do not take our scholarship from you. We ask that you work with us before reporting your scholarship, because you can defer your scholarship. You do not have to use it right away. You can save it for graduate school and roll it over. You can save it for study abroad opportunities, internship opportunities, or if you've had to take out some federal loans, you can also use it to cover your federal and private loans.
Thank you for that. And Sully, this question is for you. What has been your favorite part of college?
My favorite part of college, well, I live on campus, so like in campus we have big hills, and then it recently has been snowing this whole week, and then me and my friends, we go out sledding, and it's been really fun.
That is great. I love that. You have to have fun. You have to take advantage of those opportunities for good times. So love that. Thank you. Let's see. And if you have more questions for Sully, please keep adding them to the chat. You all have done added some really great questions already. So keep them coming. All right. And I'm going to check the chat and look for a couple more here. So let's see. So, Sonia, can undocumented students apply for this scholarship?
That one is a little tricky question in a way that it's asked, because it depends. So if they are, depending on their situation, and who their primary caregiver is and who supports them financially, if they're eligible to apply for FAFSA, they can apply for our scholarship. So we follow the guidelines and the regulations of FAFSA. So it depends on your situation, and it depends on if you can complete the FAFSA, because the stipulation of our program is we want to make sure that we are supporting low income students who are in need of the scholarship. And an indicator for us is Pell eligibility. And so we follow the guidelines of the federal Pell requirements.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. And I think you answered this next question that I have. I think you already answered part of it already, but one of our participants is asking, is there an emphasis to award historically underrepresented students?
Underrepresented students can be looked at in many different ways, and there's a lot of different definitions around what is considered an underrepresented student. And so we basically base our parameters around Pell eligibility and low income. And so that is considered the same as that population too as well, but we're not only just supporting those students. So anyone who falls in the guidelines of the Pell threshold and receive Pell is a demographic of students that we're going to support. So yes, they are part of that. When we talk about the students in the population that we serve, I can say it does come across multiple buckets: underrepresented, low income, and first generation students are the main population of the students who are awarded our scholarship, which if you are Pell eligible, you do meet all of those parameters.
Thank you. And Sully, we have a question for you, and that is, if you could give advice on how to best prepare for college. I know we talked about Cornell notes, so we know that's something we want to keep doing. What other advice could you give to students who are on the call to help them prepare for college and just get ready for everything that college has to offer? What are some other things besides Planner, Cornell notes, some other things that you could think of that would help with the transition?
Also, I remember like when I was a senior in Avid class, we used to do like scholarship workshops. So like also like during those times, making sure that, and like when working on scholarships, like making sure that we answering the prompts correctly and like having feedbacks with like essays and so on.
Definitely. So just really following instructions, following prompts, and making sure you're responding to what's asked. So awesome. Let's see here. Looking for more questions. Keep adding them to the chat. I know we only have a couple minutes left, but I'm going to try and get get a couple more questions here, a couple more questions answered. So typically, how many applications do you receive?
We receive about 10,000 applications. We narrow, then we announce about 1,700 to 1,800 semifinalists. And then out of those semifinalists, we award 500 applicants. And it's pretty consistent and averages around that amount every year on year.
Great, thank you. All right. And we have two more questions. So how will semifinalists be notified? And maybe Sully, do you want to talk about your experience when you were notified that you were a semifinalist? Do you want to share what that was like, how you found out?
For me, when I got the notification, it was like, I want to say the best. It was like, because we're at lunch, having lunch, and then me and my friends were all sitting down, and then we all got the email in the afternoon while we eating lunch, and then all my friends, like, because they sent out the emails that who did not get this moved on to the semifinalist phase, and all my friends got it, and I was feeling sad because like I thought, yo, I didn't move on. But then once I got home, like around 3 p.m., they sent me an email saying I moved on to a finalist round, and I was like so happy. But then it was just a fun moment.
Oh, that's really great. I love hearing your story. Love that anticipation, you know. You thought you might not have gotten it, and then come to find out a couple hours later you did. So
Yeah.
what a great triumph. So
And Cindy, I'd be
oh
happy to share with you a video that you can share with everyone on the call, of just some clips of how scholars are notified differently. So some are via email, some are via teachers, some are from staff themselves on a Zoom call, video call, or at award assemblies. And it's a really awesome video to see the excitement in the students' faces on when they're awarded.
Oh, I think everyone would love that. If you can share that, Sonia, I'll make sure our participants get that today. Wonderful. Well, it looks like we are at time for today. It went by quickly. Before we end, I wanted to let you know that the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation is hosting a pizza party competition drawing to encourage more Dell Scholar applicants. The foundation will be providing $500 per school towards a pizza party for Avid elective classes at up to 10 schools. So for more information, please see the details included in the chat. And thank you all for your great questions and for joining us today. And a big thanks to our co-hosts, Sonia and Sally. And if we were unable to get to your questions today, or if you have additional questions, please visit the Dell Scholars FAQ page or reach out to the Dell Scholars team by emailing apply@dellscholars.org. And please note that Dell's offices are closed from November 24th until the 27th, so there could be a delay in response if you reach out during that time. Thank you again, and remember the application closes December 1st. We encourage you to apply today. Good luck.